Let's get started by opening the Start menu. Before we do that though, I should mention that the HoloLens will likely need to be logged into an account if it isn't already. If it isn't, I hope that you watch this video first because it will help you during the sign-in process with some of the techniques. Okay, let's open the Start menu. To do that, there's a few ways, but the way that we'll be using first is simply to bring your palm facing you and then tap the icon that's highlighted on your wrist. One thing that I should talk about first is also that the view of your HoloLens is slightly more restricted than the view you'll be seeing in this recording. The viewing in this recording records all the holograms as if they're ideal, but the actual HoloLens has restrictions on viewing. Okay, so I hope that's clear, so don't freak out if you can't see a whole hologram at once, or if it's getting cut off at some points. Let's go through a little tips tutorial that Microsoft has provided with us to get more familiar with the actions of working with the HoloLens. You can see that it's located right here. However, I just want to make sure in case it's located on the next screen for whatever reason. You can navigate the screens on the Start menu by clicking this down arrow here. You can tell that the down arrow is a 3D button simply because when you bring your index finger towards it, the HoloLens highlights the button in this kind of ghost 3D shape. If you push inwards with your index finger, it will select it. Okay, let's get started with the tips tutorial now. As you can see here, we're presented with this little animation, and there's this play button here. First, I just want to talk about this icon here. This icon is the follow me icon. It essentially means that when activated, the hologram will follow you around. So, let's try it out. And if I turn back, it'll follow my view this way as well. Okay, let's bring it back to the center now. And to now officially start the tutorial, simply take your index finger and press inwards on the Start button. Oh, there's a hummingbird. To get started, we'll be using the hands method first. Simply take your index finger and tap.
Select a hologram or button within arm's reach by tapping it with your finger.
One thing that I'll note about the HoloLens is that it really only detects your index finger when touching buttons. So touching these shapes with your other fingers doesn't really do anything, but touching them with your index finger does.
Select a hologram that's out of reach by targeting it with the ray from the palm of your hand. Then tap and release your index finger and thumb to select it. This is called air tap.
Rays will automatically be generated for you when the HoloLens thinks you're trying to touch something that's too far away. If you ever really want one, you can also just bring your hand up like I have it here, and you can see that the ray is coming outwards from my palm. Then, we're going to bring the index and middle finger together and tap. Notice how the line goes white when the HoloLens has detected that we've air tapped. Great.
Let's learn how to move holograms. Grab and hold the flower using your thumb and index fingers and move it into the circle. Release your fingers to place it.
Once again, I'll mention that the HoloLens really only detects the motion of your index finger and sometimes your thumb, so using all of your other fingers doesn't do anything.
Great. Now try it a couple more times.
And we'll do this a few more times like it's asked us
Nice
to.
work. One more time. Let's learn how to resize holograms. Move your hand closer to the flower. Once the box appears, grab and hold one of the corner handles using your thumb and index finger. Then drag it away from the flower until the flower opens.
Okay, let's do it. And I'm making it bigger. Once again, just bringing my thumb and index finger together.
Great. To make the flower smaller, grab and hold one of the corner handles, then drag it closer to the flower until the flower closes. Good job. Let's learn how to rotate a hologram. Move your hand closer to the flower. Once the box appears, grab and hold one of the handles on the sides of the box. Great. Now try it a couple more times. Nice work. One more time. Perfect. Next, we will show you how to open and close the Start menu. Here's how to do it. Hold your palm facing you and tap the hologram that appears on your wrist. Now you try it.
You'll actually need to tilt the HoloLens so that you can see your wrist before being able to tap.
Tap the hologram again to close the Start menu.
At the same time though, even if it's not in view, and I go to tap, like so, it still
To
works.
open the Start menu using only one hand, first hold your palm facing you and look at the hologram on your wrist. As you're looking at the hologram, pinch your thumb and index fingers together. Now you do the gesture again to close the Start menu. Let's learn how to exit an immersive app like the one you are in right now. First, bring up the Start menu.
You can do this using either method.
See the button at the bottom of the Start menu? This is the button for exiting an immersive app. Select the button. You've learned all the tips in this collection.
Next, let's move on to the next collection by tapping this button over here.
Hello. Let's explore useful tips to get stuff done on your HoloLens.
Let's try
Select
voice.
a collection to get started. To select holograms using your voice, first bring up your gaze cursor by saying select.
Select. Select.
The small circle that moves when you move your head is the gaze cursor. Now target a gem with the gaze cursor and say select.
Select. Select. Select.
On HoloLens, you can say the name of a button to activate it. Try launching the Settings app by saying Settings while looking at the Start menu.
Settings.
When a button's name is not visible, you can use the gaze cursor to reveal its voice command. Try it by moving the cursor over the Close button on the title bar and use its voice command to close the app window.
Remember that to use the gaze cursor, simply move your head. Close.
Good job. Once you discover voice commands, you can use them without bringing up the gaze cursor. To discover what voice commands are available, look at a hologram and say, "What can I say?"
Let's try it here. What can I say?
Great. Now try the voice command on the flower.
Face me.
Now we will show you how to open and close the Start menu with voice. Say Go to Start to open the Start menu.
Go to Start.
To close the Start menu with your voice, say Close while looking at the Start menu.
Close.
Let's learn how to exit an immersive app like the one you are in right now. First, bring up the Start menu by saying, Go to Start.
Go to Start.
See the button at the bottom of the Start menu? This is the button for exiting an immersive app. Select it with the gaze cursor or by saying its voice command, Mixed Reality Home.
Let's do it with the voice command. Mixed Reality Home.
You've learned all the tips in this collection.
That's all for now, guys. Let's go through one more time how to close the Immersive app as our final exercise. Bring up the Start menu. Sometimes it can take a few seconds. Tap Home. And that's all. I hope you really like this tutorial and ask your instructor if you have any questions. Thanks.